Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me, as always, is
Rob Morphy.
Robert. You're back.
I am.
Hello.
Doing it. We're back. Everyone's
yes.
It feels like it's been longer than it's been, which sucks.
Well, Christopher, I'm sorry, and good sir, you are.
Yeah, I'm Christopher.
And Christopher, yes.
Yes.
So Christopher was out, and then it was you and I.
Yep.
So then you were out. So then
Yep.
it was me, Chris, and super producer Bill.
Which must have been awesome. I wish I had been there for that.
And now we're back.
Right on.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bill did an excellent job filling in.
I'm sure.
Excellent.
I would. We'll have to do the foursome. We have the extra mic.
Yeah, no,
One of
for
these
sure.
days.
We got to jump Bill in for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely, he has like an education now, like in the high strangeness and in the weird. Like he picks up on stuff, and dude, I talk to him all the time, like text messaging and stuff, and he sends me all kinds of fun shit. And I'm like, dude, we're ruining you. I'm sorry.
He had no interest
Nah.
before, right?
I mean, maybe
No, he did.
a little
Like,
bit
it's-
passing, but
It's part of his personality. He's got that type where like if you're friends with somebody, you know they're into something, you kind of absorb
yeah,
a little
for
bit,
sure.
Right.
and you start getting neurotic about it, and be like, hey, what about this stuff? What
Yeah.
about this stuff?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely diving in feet first, which is super fun. So yeah, we're gonna have super producer Bill back. But you are correct. We have not been together, and like together as one, the three OGs in like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
we're back just in time for this is the last pod that we're gonna be doing in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is it. Next time you hear from us, it's the future, baby, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be there, and I know pod time and whatnot. Last week was technically our Christmas episode minus Rob, but this for us actually Christmas is this week. So this is our own little
Right.
this is our Christmas party.
Right on.
But the pod has nothing to do with
Yeah.
Christmas.
no,
No, not really.
no, not at all.
Do we need like an HR department? You think?
Why?
For what?
I don't know. It'd be kind of fun.
I mean, it's the three of us.
Yeah, but we could send like memos and shit, and we could have an office like, holiday party.
We could do that without
We
HR.
could bring the cranberry meatballs, and we could have a little rock
Cranberry
around.
meatballs?
The cranberry.
Okay.
I mean, I've never
Meatballs?
had that,
Yeah,
but
cranberry.
I'd
Dude,
try it.
my
I
boy at
wouldn't
work,
not.
Gibby, young Gibby.
Yeah.
Dude, he hooked me up. He brought some cranberry meatballs, and I was skeptical. I'm like, I don't know about this.
As am I.
It's a banger.
Really?
Yeah, but
It's an
do you like cranberries?
Yeah, I don't
Are
mind
they
cranberry.
sweet?
Yeah, no, I hate cranberries.
Savory?
Savory, definitely
on.
for sure.
That's
a little bit
cool.
Sweet there, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy cranberries. They're okay.
Look, the thing is, we need to have an office Christmas party. Okay,
I'd rather just have meatballs.
Yeah.
Again, we don't need an HR department to do that.
we do. Someone has to send the fucking memo out.
I'll send
I mean,
the memo.
yeah.
All right,
You will-
I am
you
HR.
are an hour late. You are not sending a memo.
I had things come up. You're right. I'm not the one for the
Yeah.
job.
You're trying to promote yourself to HR. Get the
We'll
fuck
see what
outta
happens.
here.
When we get the
Promote.
phone next year, because we're getting the
We're gonna get our phone. Yeah,
We'll hire somebody to just come here once a week
yeah, and we'll have civil service tests that we're gonna hand
to
out
do
to
some work.
everybody. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, can you make some cards?
This is good, dude. We're gonna get interns, and then we're gonna actually have like the bureaucracy behind it, and then Bill's gonna be in charge of a bunch of shit.
It just
Want
seems
some
like
red tape stuff?
Oh, dude, so many demerits.
that
So
doesn't seem fun at all.
dude, it's gonna be fun.
It's
No, it doesn't.
antithetical to the joy we have as a
No.
three-man friendship crew that rule the roost.
Look at all the space we have in here.
Sure.
Okay, we could do a lot.
Okay.
We can, there's party,
I know.
fucking party time.
No,
over
I know.
there.
We
Yeah,
have
there's
a
a bar
party
over
time
there.
Yeah.
kiosk.
It's
bar
fine, we can
behind
do it.
Bobby.
Oh,
see it.
I want a party here.
Yeah.
Rest assured, I want a party here.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what an intern would do, but I mean, I'm okay with that too. The red tape part, I'm less enthused about.
Yeah, I don't want
worry.
to create red tape for no reason.
I don't want paperwork.
This is
I
how,
write this thing.
I don't want
That's
to.
enough.
Yeah, I don't want to get an email from somebody that's like, Chris, you did with the video.
This is how, dude. This
like-
is how office politics works. Okay. All right. There will be a test.
Well,
It's
Are
gonna
we
be fun.
becoming a conglomerate? Are we going public? Did I not
Ooh,
know?
We should.
Shit.
We are not doing that.
Our next-
You can get an intern if you want
Our next step
to yell at you.
is cryptocurrency. Let's just jump the shark and get right into that.
Well, what we already are technically with our name.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah. So we're back. We're doing a Cryptonaut podcast. Ooh, this is fun because I love when we do follow-ups on these ones. Bizarre Beasts of Britain, Volume 2, The Writhing Horror.
That's a specific type of horror.
Yeah, right.
To
right.
be sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Not a twisting horror.
Yeah, we're doing
No.
a lot of Brit stuff lately, but I love it. They got some of the coolest fucking cryptids, ghosts, fucking
Yeah.
Dude, for sure.
bullshit craziness.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah, we just did the British
the
bus bedlam.
bus bedlam,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, man. Cool. Oh, so we're going into 2025 with a little British in our stuff.
You know, we're just being true to the roots, I guess.
Awesome. I
We're all
love it.
Anglo as
True
shit.
to the roots.
Yeah, there it is. All right, well, let's get started with Once again, we return to the not-so-sunny shores of England to induct 2 new crazy critters into this ancient nation's already pervasive pantheon of the paranormal. Specifically, a pair of insidious invertebrates whose peculiar provenances seem to lean less towards the traditionally biological and more towards the uncannily occult.
Look at you. That was a pile of tongue twisters, and you just fucking got through it one take. Look at fucking you.
If we had an HR department, you would be brought in and talked to.
Why?
Because of that paragraph right there.
Oh, I thought because I complimented you. I thought I made you feel uncomfortable with my warm words of praise.
That was before the show. That breaks so many different laws. Okay?
Nope. That's why we won't have an HR, because I am the monarch of the word. So live with that.
Wow.
He's the czar of video.
Yeah.
I guess you're the king of the internet
I'm
or
the
something.
vicar of video.
Vicar of video.
The king
That's
of the
fine.
internet,
Right.
really?
Yeah. I mean, you do a lot of things for this pod.
I do.
But you definitely make sure that what we do gets exposed to the public, which is essential.
Starting the HR department will be
Oh my fucking God. With you.
big
With you.
Okay.
thing. All right, Robert.
Do it.
Let's get started.
Be they flatworms, screw worms, and that's with 2 W's. I was new to that world.
Oh.
Slugs or maggots. For many, there is just something inherently abhorrent about the often parasitic, usually slimy, always undulating, limbless, boneless, and faceless fuck-alls who co-infest this spinning orb we call home. As essential as they surely are to their endemic ecosystems, these corpse-eating, blood-drinking, dirt-shitting invertebrates are, at best, skeevy, and at worst, downright lethal. And these are just your run-of-the-mill platyhelminths. I'm trying to say that right. Platyhelminths.
I see you have it broken out.
Oh, I have to. I mean, I couldn't say that word. Platyhelminth. Platyhelminths. So I tried to be all fucking intellectual. I can't say like fucking like parasitical worms.
I've honestly, in my 44 years on this earth, have never seen that word.
I think biology. We all saw it in biology.
I failed.
And we learned annelids or like whatever. Be they fucking run-of-the-mill worms or gastropods, etc. But this being the Cryptonaut podcast, we're not going to limit ourselves to your standard scummy annelids. There, I said that one right. Nope. We're going to be faithful to our protocols and keep it weird. Real fucking weird. This, of course, is not the first time that we've dipped our toes into the singularly unappealing and likely leech-infested paranormal pond. In past episodes, we've covered the icky exploits of the legendary Lambton worm or the drunk stalking antics of Ontario's Thunder Bay sluggo, one of my favorites.
Oh, I love that one.
Or even the crawling kaiju caliber cycloptic super slug known affectionately as the boneless horror of Derbyshire. Remember that fucker? That was in the first bundle of British.
Okay,
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that thing with like a whale-sized slug with one eye going all wookity wonky. Like that fucking professor from Harry Potter. I don't remember all their names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
So many.
So, without further fucking ado, let's shoot across the pond and explore some of the craziest creepazoids on the books. Speaking of which, a shout out must be extended to our buddy, author, cryptozoologist, world traveler, and Doctor Who aficionado extraordinaire, Richard Freeman. And we already shouted out his book when he sent it to us, but I'm going to do so again because this was the actual source.
And we screwed the title up.
The first time we did.
The first time we
called
did.
it High Strangeness.
Yeah, but it's highest.
It is the highest strangeness.
Yes.
And I'm going to say it again. In his latest book, 2024's The Highest Strangeness, in which we are generously referenced, I might add, you'll find many familiar faces as well as a whole hell of a lot of brand new bizarro buddies, 2 of which we'll be dealing with here. Our first case takes us to one of England's most celebrated archaeological sites, the epic Avebury Henge. Built during the Neolithic period, roughly between 2850 and 2200 BC, the henge, which predates Stonehenge by about 800 years, survives as a circular bank and ditch encircling an area that includes part of Avebury village. So it's a big, the henge is the round part with the dirt embankment, not the stones, which for years I didn't know that. I thought the stones were the henge. So part of the village is within that. Because in the medieval times when they built villages, they gave zero fucks about archaeological bullshit.
Oh no, yeah,
and
no.
they just put shit wherever.
Just build it right on top of it.
So it's kind of
fine.
cool for people enough lucky
Totally
to
fine.
live there, I guess. But anyway, I'm getting off the point here. Within the henge is the largest stone circle in Britain, which in turn encloses 2 smaller stone circles and is a place that English heritage has referred to as, quote, one of the greatest marvels of prehistoric Britain, end quote. In a place of such rich history and incredible mystery, it should come as no surprise that it's been the site of more than its fair share of paranatural occurrences, one of which left a local woman in a state of abject terror. The account comes to us from Freeman via prolific author, ufologist, and Fortean investigator Nick Redfern. Nick, another good guy, another Brit by blood, who's a Texan, I think, by choice at this point.
Yeah, no, Nick's a super cool dude.
And I've been in a couple of his books, and he's just a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Spoken to him a few times. He's really cool. Redfern. Jeez
Redfern.
Louise. Redfern.
Nick Redfern.
Nick Redfern. Don't even know what that was.
No, it's okay.
Mr. Redfern
Nice.
claimed to have been contacted by a British Royal Air Force veteran named Malcolm Lees. Lees had served the RAF between the early 1950s and early 60s and had recently been posted to this, recently meaning as at the time of this account, posted to the security services at the RAF station in Wiltshire, where he worked in the special investigations section of the provost and security services as an intelligence officer.
That's
So
a lot.
provost, I think, means like administration officer or something. I'm not 100% sure.
I bet you there's an HR department there.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
right.
sure. I mean, well, no, it's 61.
There's
Is that even a
always an
thing?
HR. Yeah, of course.
Mad Men era and HR do not seem to be
It's
compatible.
for hiring,
Yeah, like-
Robert.
Rules
Hiring.
and caring about things.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't
Well,
worry.
I thought it was human resources.
Yeah.
I thought it was all about like telling you what not to do.
No, there's also rules and regulations.
You're gonna
and all
hate it
kinds
when
of
you
fun
when
shit.
you have to start, not touching my butt. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
I can
You're
make a
gonna
ru-
wish it didn't
I
happen.
can make a rule about that.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, dude, there's 3 people. Like, if you make a rule, look, we have to vote for it.
Yeah.
And if we vote against it, then you don't get the rule.
Oh,
You're forgetting this.
Safety butt.
Mark 34% stores.
Dude, but we have
Ooh,
66.
Tiebreaker.
yeah,
I can't do
you
this.
suck
Yeah,
at math.
look. Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
It's true. You do rock the 34.
That's right. Son of a
All
bitch.
right. So we're back. We're back
Bill.
here. He's
Bill will back me.
He doesn't have a percentage, but God bless him. He does not have a percentage.
He will.
Okay.
You're gonna start a thing that isn't even associated with it. You're doing what's happening in political circles right now, just forming groups that didn't get elected.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me and Bill.
May I?
Please.
Thank you.
God.
The provost. Can I be the provost?
Sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
See? Welcome aboard.
Okay. Up until then, Lee's career had followed a traditional trajectory, a routine that would be maintained until just before his retirement in the fall of 1962, when he was sent out on a case that would redefine his foundational notions of reality. A case that, it's worth noting, was taken very seriously by the Air Force and would remain classified until it was eventually released by the British government under the Freedom of Information Act. And it's good to know the Brits have a FOIA too. Good for all democracies.
Yeah,
to have a
no. I
FOIA.
was like, what?
So again, in the book, all the quotes will be from The High Strangeness. So whether
Mhm.
or not I cite it, just know that I'm talking about Richard Freeman in his book. In chapter 3, UFOs, under the intriguing heading Serpent in the Circle, Freeman wrote of Officer Lees, quote, most of his work was mundane, but he told Nick of one very strange story. Early one September morning in 1962, a call came into the base from someone who had seen a UFO hovering in the vicinity of the ancient standing stones in the historic village of Avebury. The witness was a middle-aged lady who had lived in Avebury all her life and who was fascinated by archaeological history. The name of the witness remains redacted in the official document entitled Flying Saucer Incident, Avery Wilts, September 4th, 1962. So, in case I guess you want to double FOIA it in Britain, that's the name.
Here it is.
But she was a 52-year-old woman who would often stroll among the stone circles at night. Between 10:30, that's an end quote. Between 10:30 and 10:45 on the night in question, the soon-to-be eyewitness was wandering among the ancient monoliths when, to her shock, she noticed a glowing plasma-like orb, perhaps 2 feet in diameter, gliding slowly through the stones approximately 12 feet off of the ground. Transfixed by the sight before her, the woman almost certainly gasped and froze in her tracks as the eerily illuminated object stopped its meandering and began to make a beeline directly toward her.
Ah, shit.
And orbs are treacherous shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
the real orbs, yeah.
Obviously, particles of dust that people claim are, I guess, undead spirits and have since the fucking 90s are
the spirits,
exhausting.
of our loved ones. Thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
the ones that are, I guess, maybe, I don't think any of them are. But the orbs that we know about, like from Steger's work and other things that like torment you and stalk you and all those things, that's pretty creepy. But I think it was David Grush and probably Luis Elizondo and other people that have come out recently with the massive amount of research done on orbs under the auspices of ATIP and OSAP, indicating that these can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
And part of the human health factor has been indicated by interactions with blue orbs, which apparently will fuck you the fuck up. Whatever their origins or sentience may or may not be.
There may or may not have been some orbs in the New Jersey skies during this whole drone incident.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, we're going to eventually we're going to do a little thing on Patreon.
We're going to have to.
Recap.
I mean, might as well do it while, I guess.
We're still like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And it's like drones on drones on drones on drones. But there is some weird orby shit that happened.
You're definitely the point man on that, because I've only seen a little bit.
It's so much.
Because, I mean, it just looks like drones, but it seems so weird that you have the government going, oh, yeah, they're drones and we can't identify them and they're on our military bases, so don't worry about it. And that's where the needle scratch and the brakes get hit. And I'm like,
we'll cover
all right, well, that's a different day.
Bit. But yeah, orbs are not to be fucked with.
Yes. So, I'm not sure they knew about this in 1962, but it is interesting that it is a proper old school orb.
Yeah.
They don't mention the color. So it's shooting towards her, and it's fucking frightening.
Scary.
When it was no more than 15 feet in front of her, the luminous ball suddenly stopped and began oozing droplets of what looked like molten metal onto the sacred ground. Before the observer could even process what was happening, the situation took a dramatic turn when the orb, without warning, exploded in a blinding flash of white. And it's worth acknowledging here that this is almost exactly like what was reported by former Deputy Base Commander of RAF Bentwaters, Charles Halt, and his men on December 28th, 1980, near Woodbridge, in what is now part of the legendary Rendlesham incident.
I was wondering why that sounded kind of familiar.
Because
okay.
they saw this dripping orb, and it looked like molten metal coming down, and it was puddling somewhere in a field near their feet before it exploded into a bunch of fucking sparks. And that was just one of, I don't know, dozens, but lots of different shit that was going on. Obviously, there was the close encounter with the triangular craft by Peniston and the rest, Burroughs and somebody else earlier. And then maybe even I'm going to say this wrong. It's not Cabrini Green, because I know it's where Candyman found his prey. But Chapel Green, there's some green place where a third witness that nobody gives the time of day to claims that the base commander met like little weird Tuscumbia penguin type aliens, and there was a mist in a field, and it's like, and they made a documentary, and it was called maybe Chapel Green, something green, and then fucking it never got released, or at least I couldn't find it.
Oh shit.
So it's like one of the most interesting parts of the whole thing in terms of high strangeness, but like anyway, we're dipping down little side paths.
R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Yeah. Oh, always. Yeah. That really was the last truly scary slasher film, even if it was more supernatural, in my opinion.
Love it.
Okay. Finding my place. Okay, so Freeman continued his account of the now frightened witness at Avebury, writing, "For a moment she was blinded by the flash and fell to her knees. When her eyes cleared, however, she was faced with a horrific sight. The ball of light had gone, but on the ground in front of her was what she could only describe as a monstrous, writhing worm. The creature was about 5 feet long, perhaps 8 or 9 inches thick, and its skin was milky white. As she slowly rose to her feet, the creature suddenly turned in her direction, and 2 bulging eyes opened."
Oh God, it can see.
Can see.
Is this like the worm from? Did this happen in Poltergeist?
The tequila
No, he
worm,
puked
dude?
like a yeah.
and he like
puked
puked
a
that thing
humanoid
out,
worm.
but it had like a weird human
Ew.
face on it.
As I recall, it's been a long time.
Weird.
Yeah, Poltergeist 2 is not on my like constant revisit.
No, but just anything like worm that has like a weird human face, it just creeps me out, man.
Yes.
It just really.
Yeah,
creeps
nobody
me
likes
out.
that.
No, I mean I'm legendary for not liking human faces on animal things, and I
Yeah,
agree
well-
with you. A worm, it's particularly
It's
egregious.
real bad.
And for the record, in this evening, it will only get worse
Okay, excellent. Well, let's
in terms of this pod.
strap in.
All right.
Yeah, maybe not this case.
Okay, all right. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine.
All right. It was then that was the end of the quote. It was then that this already appalling moment took a turn toward the terrifying as this unspeakable thing began undulating toward her at an alarming rate. The witness shrieked and began sprinting away from the darkened henge toward the pale lights of the nearby village. Once inside her house, surely imagining that the wicked worm was nipping at her ankles all the way, the woman slammed and locked her door and immediately called the police. Her voice shrill from panic and likely breathless from her life-preserving dash for home, it was all the officer on the other end of the line could do to comprehend her story, and once finished, he was, as to be expected, unimpressed with the presumed veracity of the account. The officer then, in an effort to get off the phone with this quote-unquote crazy person and relieve himself of any potential paperwork, told the terrified citizen to call the airbase before hanging up on her.
Because they handle humanoid worms?
Well, because it was a floating thing.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
mostly
probably.
because, not because there's a real jurisdictional hold for either of these things. This guy just didn't want to fucking deal with it.
Right.
He didn't want to go to the
Well,
henge.
yes,
He didn't want
true.
to look around. So he's like, it's floating. It's an Air Force thing.
She's like, right. He's like, she's on the dope.
Yep.
Call the fucking Air Force.
Yeah, bother them.
Now, I understand that this thing exploded and turned into a worm and it chased you, but upon first noticing this, it was floating. Therefore, it falls into the category of the Air Force.
Oh, see, I assumed the dripping multi thing was the shit that turned into the worm.
No, the whole thing exploded.
That's an interesting point, and we don't know because it was a blinding flash, so we didn't see.
Yeah.
So was it like a floating egg and that it was cracking and some of the, amniotic fluid or whatever the fuck's in an egg, yolk was spilling out and then it hatched and the explosion was the worm? Or did the whole thing energetically turn into the worm? Or indeed, was it just the orb juice?
Yeah, that's just where my brain went to. Because I think of Clash of the Titans when
Oh, yeah,
the Medusa blood
the
made
blo-
scorpions.
From the scorpions, yeah.
Mm.
Dripping out of the bag.
Not
there.
that that's any kind
The
of a
old
thing.
orb
but-
juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, warm orb juice.
Dude, pulp free in
Mm,
the year after 23.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, fear the orb if that's what's hanging out in them.
Dude, it's gross, man. If that's what that thing gives birth to.
Yeah.
Gross.
Dude, if comets can contain werewolves, then orbs can contain worms.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
man.
shit, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
As we've
Star Jelly,
proved.
we have time and time again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Werewolves and octopi came from space, probably on the same rock.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
All right, cool.
So call the fucking Air Force. All right.
Yeah.
The woman did as she was instructed, and though whoever received her call at the RAF base was likely every bit as incredulous as the local constabulary, at least she was taken seriously enough to dispatch a pair of security officers, though they would not be sent out until the following morning. So they're not like hot on the case. They're just like going to do due diligence, it seems like. Not long after dawn, Malcolm Lees, who we were talking about earlier, and an unnamed colleague went out to meet up with the witness. Upon arriving at her house, Lees noticed that the beleaguered woman seemed genuinely afraid. She had barricaded her door and looked as if she hadn't slept a wink. After getting the story down, they tried to convince the lady to take them to the scene of her encounter. Despite the sun being up and the fact that she'd be accompanied by a pair of Air Force officers, it was all they could do to finally convince her to accompany them back to the henge. Once there, according to Freeman, quote, Lees and his colleague found no evidence of the UFO or the worm, end quote. But they were not to be entirely disappointed as, quote, on the ground near the standing stone was a 3-foot-long trail of a slime-like substance, not unlike that left by a snail. Lee's colleague quickly improvised, and after racing back to the woman's house, scooped up some of the material on a spoon and into a drinking glass.
You got to fucking
Okay.
burn all that shit immediately.
End
You
quote.
can't put
No,
slime in a spoon
you
in a
have
glass.
to. This
No,
is
but
like in the less than 1% where like something was evidenced.
Right.
Like, that never happens.
Why do you think I have baggies in the car?
Oh,
For
that's
this
right.
moment.
But you have your whiskey glass. You could use your whiskey glass.
Well,
and a
if
spoon.
if we found alien slug spoor outside,
So
I would probably clean off the whiskey
you can
glass.
never use that glass again, though.
Well, no, because that's science's glass
Yeah.
from then on. Obviously, I'm not going to drink from it.
No, but I
after
mean, this
that.
woman with this guy is like, hold on a second, give me a glass and a spoon.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
you can't give that shit back.
No, of course not.
No, it's just
No, they're not
rude.
thinking about that, and I wouldn't care about that, dude. If I
No.
found like the evidence of the millennia, like
Absolutely. And she needs
some
something
sacrifice cup,
that makes her not look
Yeah.
crazy.
you're being weird.
It's a gross,
Well, what would you do?
gross.
Would you let the
slime
evidence
trail.
dry up and go away for the preservation of like
Maybe
fucking
maybe just using
a cup?
maybe using a cup is throwing me off. I would use something else.
Why is that
I
What
throwing
if they
you
didn't
off?
have anything
Bag.
else?
Do you have 3 cups in your house and each family member has one and your kids have to share?
I have so many cups in my house.
So
at the moment.
what the fuck are you worried about?
Oh, you know, what would be a good vessel for this would be one of those old McDonald's cups.
Yogi Bear. I was thinking the same thing.
Yogi Bear.
Yeah, like the fucking Hanna-Barbera McDonald's cups.
Oh, not
Oh,
not
I'm
the
of
glass
a different
ones.
era.
Yeah, no.
Wait, which
Not the glass
You
ones
mean
with the lead paint.
the plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the old school plastic.
Well, you don't
ones,
want to
the
drink
big
from the lead
fuckers.
paint one anyway, so you might as well use that for science. Let that be a part of history. Let that be on the cover of Time magazine.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Use the lead-based paint one. There you go.
Huckleberry Hound.
I've changed my
Dude,
my
everything.
stance on this.
What was it on those glasses?
All I remember
every-
like
like-
Hanna-Barbera characters. Is all I
Right.
remember.
Yeah.
Like,
But
and
there
then
was
what's
other
the Quick
things,
Draw
though, right?
McGraw? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, and later years
Like,
there was
there's,
like
like,
Star
super-
Wars. I
There's
think.
like there's a lot of superheroes on those
Was
too,
there?
wasn't there?
Was there?
I could have sworn there was at least some
Oh.
DC
I remember
ones
having
in there.
I had Garfield
Um,
ones.
that was
But
80s.
as soon as the whole like lead paint thing, my mom was like, "No more," and I'm like, "We've been drinking from this shit for
Yeah.
years."
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm
Damage
already,
is done.
like, bro, I'm already cooked.
Ha!
Like, what are you gonna do? You can't save me now. Let me go. Let me go.
Let me go, Ma.
Let me go,
Let me
Ma.
go. Let me keep the glass,
Come
Mom.
on, man. Come on. All right. All kidding aside, though,
So-
excellent job gathering the evidence.
Yes.
Yes. It's important. You got a big thing of slime. Get as much as you can.
It's
Very
all of it.
Ghostbusters-esque.
100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Aykroyd was familiar with this case, and maybe it was
probably-
because he is obviously a scholar
Oh,
of
for
the
sure.
paranormal.
He probably was into this. So
Right.
There you go.
Lees and his partner filled the requisite report, which was promptly sent up the chain of command with the viscous evidence in tow. Though he wasn't privy to the responses of his higher-ups, though he wasn't privy to the response his higher-ups had to the report, nor, unfortunately, to the results of any tests that were likely conducted on the slimy substance ostensibly left behind by the supernatural space slug, and I'm covering all my bases by saying that. That shit could be like
No,
an
yeah.
evil spell, that could be from outer space, that
Yeah.
could be interdimensional, who the fuck knows? Supernatural space slug, for now.
I like it.
Lees noted that it must have made some kind of impression, as for over a week he would catch sight of known military personnel, all notably out of uniform, scouring the henge for quote-unquote evidence of anything unusual.
Oh, shit. They're in full force.
If indeed any traces of the dripping orbicular residue of the Wilshire wispworm, or the even more aptly named aerial abomination of Avebury Henge, as it was dubbed by the folks over at paranormalworldfandom.com.
Is that Tom G?
No, I don't think so. That's just one of those wikis
Oh, I
that
thought it was
maybe
Tom.
occasionally steals our stuff and doesn't credit. But
No,
that's okay.
I'm pretty sure paranormal-world.fandom.com is Tom G.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure it
We've
is.
done
Oh,
definitely we've pulled
yeah,
stuff from
for
there.
sure.
Then let me reread that, because I feel like I just shit on our good boy.
No, not at all.
Our good boy Tom G.
You did not shit on
Our
Tom
British
G.
good boy Tom G.
You did not shit
Am
on
I
Tom
insulting
G.
him by calling him our British good boy Tom G?
No, not at all. He is our British good boy.
I thought
man.
it was one of those
British
generic wikis.
good boy.
And here's the thing. There's so many of these .fandom.com.
Because I was thinking Bridge to Magoni all the time.
Yeah, well, it eventually became the Ghosts of Magonia. He originally was paranormal-world.fandom.com.
Do you know why I think you're absolutely right, besides the fact that I trust you?
Why is that?
Because fucking Tom is also the master of alliteration. And the
Oh, yeah.
aerial abomination of Avebury Henge, come on.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's some
world
Tom G
class.
shit right there, dude.
Alliteration. So, you know what, Tom? I'm assuming it's you. Good shit all across the board.
No, I'm checking in it. I'm checking in it right now.
Right
Let
on.
me see here. Yep, there it is. Paranormal. Yep, that's nothing. That's
Well,
a
and you know what? It's funny. I mean, I liked it enough to want to quote it, not even realizing it was a buddy.
Yeah.
All the better.
dude. There it is.
So now that we understand its provenance, the fact is Malcolm Lees was never privy to what was discovered at all. Just understood that it must have been something because they were investing a lot of man hours and time into the investigation.
Yeah, if you got that many people out there looking for that shit, dude,
Yeah.
something's going down.
I mean, there's other things for these fuckers to be doing. So clearly.
Yep.
So it means to me, I think, that they're not necessarily taking this lady seriously or a dripping orb sighting seriously. There was something tangibly found in the chemical studies or whatever they could do in 62 of that residue that implied to them that, this is something bizarre enough that's worthy of double investigation.
You got to tell the queen about it, dude.
Got to tell the queen.
Got to tell the queen.
Yeah, the prime minister
shit.
has a special briefing with
There
the
you go.
queen.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's
And
important.
then she releases the corgis.
Oh, boy.
R.I.P. to the corgs.
Yeah, well, 2 of them have to go, but one's going to make the kill.
Dude.
Yeah.
Goddamn adorable.
That's why there's always 3.
All right, do you got to send out some double O's? Is this what's going on?
Double O's.
Dude.
Double O corgi.
Some double O corgis? How adorable. They just come with their little tiny legs. And then they just fucking bite your face off and they attack shit.
License to lick.
Yeah. Do they got like guns and shit mounted on them?
Oh, with Walther PPKs
Yeah.
on their collar.
Little
So they shrug their shoulders. It's like,
Well, I mean, they'd have to be hidden, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't look like they had them. They have
Oh,
to be
dude.
underneath or
well,
some
they're always
shit.
wearing sweaters and shit, aren't they? I mean, I'm not an expert on the Queen's dogs. I don't know.
I loved them though. Man, every time she'd come out with them, they just have. I used to just look up videos of the queen and her corgis. I don't
Yeah.
know why I was so obsessed with them, but I was.
I mean, I know the
They're
phrase
adorable.
more than I can actually see it in my head.
Dude, they're so fucking cute, man.
They're
I was in a
cute little
pet store
puppets.
once and I saw a bunch of corgis and I felt with the queen for a minute.
Did you?
I was like, yes, my
Felt like the
corgis.
cute-
These are adorable.
Why didn't you get a corgi?
Yeah, why don't you
Instead
get
of
a
the dog
corgi?
that you got?
Well, the dog, the guy was rescued. My wife made that decision and now she has to live with the consequences.
Wow.
I mean, so do you. Like,
And it was, so do I. And the corgis actually that I saw at the pet store, I wasn't necessarily sure what the ethical ramifications of this place was because I was
Okay.
asking some questions and I could kind of get the hint of a puppy mill and I was like, I'm not doing this. So,
All right, you don't want to support the mill, but you don't want to abandon the pup.
I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars for
Oh.
unlicensed, for like no paper dogs.
Yeah,
Because
you're
I was
right.
like, yeah, AKC, UKC, like what are these? And they're like, oh, well, I'm like, oh, I got one of those, huh? Yeah, you got one of those Alibaba fucking certificates for your dog, didn't you? So, yeah, and that store obviously has been shut down now.
you
for a
got the
while.
dollar store
You got the
certificate.
dollar
that says,
store.
You
Yeah.
did something.
Yeah. Your dog's real.
You have
Wow.
dog.
Yeah.
Is real dog.
Nice.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So let's get back to the henge.
All right.
Everything's
Corgis
going on.
Corgis aside.
Freeman noted that, quote, Lee said he was fascinated by the incident because it was one of the few UFO-related cases he had heard about that was taken very seriously at an official level and that had some form of material evidence to support it. And though, as aforesaid, he did not know the outcome of the investigation, he, quote-unquote, never forgot about it. As for the unnamed eyewitness, even less is known. But while it's likely she never again enjoyed a late-night stroll on the henge, perhaps she was at least able to finally get a good night's sleep in an unbarricaded home. One can hope, at least.
Do you stay there though?
I don't know if I do.
I don't think you do.
I mean, if
man.
you're so scared this worm thing is like bearing down on you,
it's still somewhere.
it's still
There's
somewhere.
it was clearly it was crawling and it left a big snail trail. So
and
this
it
thing is
was coming right
it's-
at you.
It's somewhere
Like as,
on Earth.
as an orb, it was coming at you. As it shed its
Maybe not, though.
orbicular
Yeah.
juice, it explodes. And then as soon as it reforms or whatever the fuck it does on the ground, it chases you anew. Now, it could just be like it's looking for food and you're easy prey, or that you were the nearest thing and it's a very aggressive animal. Or it could be that this thing is like set its sights on you like a little wormy Terminator and it's like fucking, you're done.
Dude. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, there were kind of domes and lightning when they appeared.
yeah.
But also, the worm
Oh.
could just be part of just an initial form. It could be something else completely.
Dude, that thing could be crawling into the forest and just like metamorphosing into a new form of horror fucking
Oh,
woods
yeah.
creature, like a pale crawler.
If
Is
this-
this how pale crawlers are created?
If there's anything we know, that's how Slendermen are created.
No, dude, this could be Slenderman.
If there's anything we know about
Ooh.
worms is that they are a primary form of something that will metamorphize.
Let's piss off all of everyone paranormal in the UK. Did this thing go to Cannock Chase? Oh yeah, everyone just
Living there now.
at
Oh,
me.
come on. No, Mark.
You suck.
Oh.
Boo.
I mean,
Although I would not be. I would be really fucking sketched out living in this place because you're just hanging out amongst the henge doing your shit, and then this happens.
And you
I would
love
never
it.
feel safe again.
It's like it's your happy place.
yeah, I would.
pretty
I
weird.
would literally never feel safe again.
No. So I mean, if she moved, maybe the sunny climes of Australia.
I don't know, man.
I mean, how far away do you need to get before
Off the continent for sure.
the slugulon cannot find you?
Off the continent.
I
I think
don't
it'd
know.
sniff you, dude. It
There's
could
too many
sniff you.
questions. There's too many questions.
I mean, it is a paranormal entity, ostensibly. Who knows how good its
This
tracking
thing could be
skills
attached
are.
to her spiritually now.
Or it could be an extraterrestrial. Might have tagged her.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Or it could have just fucking come down, done the worm thing, went at her, but like, fuck the door. My biggest enemy, and then just fucking jet. Thing just fucking bails. It's out of there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe doors are its weakness.
Was that the sound of the wormhole closing?
Yeah, yeah.
you,
No,
need
that was
to,
me.
you need to settle down.
It was me punching my. Yeah, no, my hands are killing me.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's goddamn. It's -11 out.
It is fucking chilly.
Hey, BT Dubs, when you guys go to the bathroom down there,
Yeah.
spoiler alerts, the urinal water is so cold, you're gonna get a little nip on your dink.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I went to.
You're gonna feel it?
Yeah, you're gonna. I was
Really?
going to the
'Cause I
bathroom.
peed and I didn't feel the nip.
No, I sure shit did. I could feel the cold water. I was like, oh, that's a breeze right there from the old toilet water.
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
Not good.
I'll
So yeah, man,
try
I don't
it
know.
again
I
later.
don't think I'd feel safe with this thing. I want to move continents away, and I don't think you can't negotiate with this thing. Clearly,
Well,
you can't.
I mean, I
There's
think-
no negotiating with it.
we don't know how intelligent it is. It might be an energetic life form from another plane, and it just assumes some horrific corporeal thing when it's here, and it might be highly intelligent. But I would agree with you, in principle, based on what we know about zoology, you can't reason with worms.
Can't.
So
Can't.
I'm going to give you that one.
All right, there you go.
I'm going to give you that one.
Are we going to war
And
against them?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't think we could win. I'm not confident yet.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
You don't go to war unless you know you can win.
Oh, we got this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, when Worm King shows up and rallies
Yeah.
the troops and they're all in your fucking shit,
He has the Armada. I got the Dodge Ram. We're fine.
you
We're
can
good.
escape the worms, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Running them over.
You can just live.
nonstop.
You're gonna live in the water,
Exactly.
just on a fucking
Let's get
party
on-
yacht.
let's get
What were
on-
those fucking maggots of Yesendon or whatever, some French thing? Do you remember that one? It was one of the, either it was one of the early inexplicables that
No,
we
I remember
did,
the
or-
Domston blobs.
Oh yeah,
Those were different.
those
That
are
was
like
Sweden.
Those were like protozoa that were trying to drag two Swedes aboard their ship.
Yeah.
But no, there was this couple were driving down the street and there was these like uber maggots crossing the road. It was in France.
Was it like two of them and they had like a singular eye?
No, you're confusing it, I think, with the space brains of Palos Verde now.
No.
I mean, they're literally like the Yazdon, I'm not saying it right,
Huh.
maggots.
All right.
And it was remember the one with like the floating ape with the testicle head and the creature of many pockets that was picking plants, and the kid was like, is it a robot or what?
Oh shit!
I remember that.
Yeah,
vaguely,
because it was
but-
digging up a bunch of dirt.
It was like the
Yeah.
first truly,
Yes, it
or
was.
maybe
Oh
it was
my God.
batshit cryptids. It was one of those,
Yeah.
like, obviously we do nut shit all the time, and when we do extra nut shit, we just give it weird names.
When you said
so we get lost.
a testicle-headed ape, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
Like,
It was
what
like
we-
a pink,
Yeah.
like ball sacky thing, I think, that was floating in ape, and there was like kids on a fucking school like field trip to a local pond, like they're going to Hoops Park or something and looking at turtles, and all of a sudden this fucker floats out.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to go back and I do.
And that's the
remember
one that also had fucking Haystack Calhoun there. The fucking the red-eyed haystack with the psychic powers that was throwing these motherfuckers around.
Yes, because
oh, that I remember too.
Yes, yes.
Purse, our good buddy Todd Purse, did a T-shirt
he
of it.
did.
I think.
Yes, he did. I think he did.
Or at least he did a design that maybe we were going to use and maybe we didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was the one where actually a listener got a hold of us. I was like, yeah, by
Todd
the way,
Purse.
you, like,
I think I said.
Oh
Tom.
yeah,
yeah, Todd.
He he used to randomly draw stuff anyway. Of
Yeah,
And just hook us up. It was great.
there's a listener that sent a picture of like the back of the convenience store that thing was like pictured in, and they're like, yeah, so here's the area, and like here's the wooded area, which is like 3 bushes and like a bench.
So they call it a wooded area, but
I was
it's like 3
like,
trees and a creek.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
But it
Pretty
doesn't
much.
mean this fucking weird ass haystack wasn't there.
No, 100%, dog.
All right, so
100%. All right,
I mean,
man.
There's some listeners out there that are just shouting at us, you morons. This is what it was. But yeah, anyway, I think it was that episode, and there was a pile of maggots crossing the road, and I don't know if they hit them or not, but they were just weird,
Yeah, dude.
nasty, and they looked
Gross.
like they described it as like an animal undulating in like a garbage bag or something. Like it was just
well, that's what maggots look
I
like.
do.
like.
I do
Yeah.
kind of remember this now that you brought the garbage bag
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
anyway.
All right.
Speaking of all this,
Okay.
we're going to maggot country. That preamble.
Dude, there you go.
Our
Fucking-
second, impossible as it may seem, even more terrifying case showed up in Chapter 4, Other Entities, with the telling moniker, the giant glowing death maggot.
Oh boy, that's not what you want at all.
Death maggot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gross.
Richard Freeman wrote, one of the creepiest Fortean stories is related by paranormal chronicler Bernhardt J. Herwood. So British.
Yeah, totally.
In his 1977 book, Ghosts, Ghouls, and Other Horrors. And he wrote a lot of these books. He's kind of like a Brad Steger or any number of paranormal writers. But the covers to these fucking 70s books are beautiful.
I can only
I'm gonna
imagine,
post a
dude.
couple, probably, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook or something. I don't own any, but I will soon.
Nice.
But it's pretty dope. All right. So he would give scant details such as date and exact location. But the story is so odd it makes the cut. The creature in the story resembles the giant green maggots in the classic Doctor Who story, The Green Death. End quote. So again, Mr. Freeman, big old Who
yeah, makes sense.
and so he knows that. I'm not as familiar with classic Who, I have to admit.
No,
I have
me
a
either.
dearth of knowledge, but I mean, big green maggots sound yuck.
Yeah.
All right. Though, as Freeman mentioned, an exact date was not given, the tale begins, quote, many years ago in Yorkshire village, a postman named Mullins was walking past the graveyard on his way home when he noticed a strange light. Looking closer, he saw that it was emanating from a grave.
Oh God.
End quote. Despite his probable exhaustion from a long day's work, Mullins was so fascinated by the sight before him that he could not help but stop and stare. While it's not known if he was a superstitious man, one can't help but to assume that glowing grave dirt was almost certainly a sign of a surly specter. In this case, it was a local man that the postal carrier hardly knew named Peters. First name not given.
Peters.
Peters.
Not sure what to expect next, the mailman was almost certainly shocked when what erupted from the soft earth was not a phantasmal limb or full chain rattling apparition, but a large, wriggling, self-luminous, maggot-like creature. Staring in horror, Mullen's surprise was about to be supplanted by shock as this undulating abomination struggled to get out of the grave and opened a pair of large, decidedly un-maggot-like eyes.
Oh no, it's got more human
Quote,
eyes.
Mullen said the most horrid thing about this entity was that it had human eyes.
Oh,
Right back at the
yeah.
same fear point,
Oh,
which I
Yeah.
completely
gross,
agree
dude.
with. The people eyes.
Fucking eyes without a maggot.
Oh,
Yeah, think about
Billy
that.
Idol, where are you?
Eyes without a maggot?
Eyes without a maggot.
Then it's just eyes.
that's just, yeah, it is sort of just eyes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Just
Yeah.
think about it in your head.
Eyes without a maggot.
No, I can hear it, but I'm
Well,
still seeing it the way
yeah,
Chris is
I-
describing it.
Yeah, no,
Let
think
me
about it.
serenade you.
Billy
No,
Idol
you
can
did. It's
sing.
fine, but like,
But
unless you introduce something other than a maggot for the
Eyes
eyes, then
without
it's just,
a mag.
it's just floating eyes. I'll take floating eyes over a giant maggot with
like
eyes.
big baby blues,
This is-
Yeah.
soft browns.
This is definitely
just
like
anime eyes.
yeah, you almost will want to be like, fuck, I wish it was like some kind of zombie or corpse.
Oh.
Like, because this is way more complicated.
Yeah,
now.
because then at least you have some protocols.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what do you do with that?
With this thing?
I know glowing.
Yeah, and it's glowing too.
Because I'm just like, why though? Why
Yeah,
glowing?
dude. All right, I got a couple of ideas already.
Okay, I like it.
We're gonna wait.
Nuclear waste.
You do. Yeah,
It's glowing. It has to be.
Yeah,
All
maybe,
right.
maybe,
Some toxic
maybe.
Avenger shits, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, let's not step on his toes. Let's just continue.
Perhaps
Power
something
plant,
that
nearby
eats-
power plant.
Something that eats the dead.
Oh, something that glows and eats the dead.
Yeah,
Is that like Return of the Living Dead?
dude. It's glows. Could be underground.
You're
be
saying this like I
living-
should know.
Could be living underground. Could be
subterranean.
eating- yeah, some kind of subterranean shit, dude.
So you're just saying it could be a subterranean.
Like
With-
it's just there to
with
eat-
bioluminescence.
Yeah, no, I thought you had a specific thing in mind. And I was
Yeah, I
waiting
did
for the
too.
answer.
I was
and
waiting
I was
for the
like,
answer
you
too.
just
No.
kept not doing it.
You were just
Never did.
theorizing.
Come on, yeah, totally.
Yes, I
Come
believe
on.
it could be a subterranean creature.
That eats the dead.
And because it has eyes, it is
Yeah.
not blind like a lot of subterranean creatures. It needs bioluminescence to see,
or it stole the eyes from the dead.
or steals the eyes from the dead.
Yeah.
That actually might be along more the lines where I'm going to go with this, but
Okay.
of course I know a little more than you,
Okay. Oh.
Not much.
Okay. All right.
but a little more.
Some kind of ground Frankenstein.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Crap. Maggot Stein.
I just made Chris just, he
Some
just got,
sort of
he just got
ground
happy.
fucking
He's like, hey.
I'm like,
It's adorable. That is fucking
Okay.
adorable. All right. The giant glowing maggot managed to heave itself up from the grave and slithered off between the headstones, leaving a trail of slime behind it.
More slime.
Mullins bravely followed the loathsome thing and its repulsive spore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking mean, dude. Wow.
The
All right.
postal worker was trailing at a respectable distance, only to be stunned when the horrible thing simply vanished when it crawled up onto the front porch of the local vicar's house.
Going door to door.
And because this is a graveyard, I'm assuming it's a graveyard, it's a grave. It could be a cemetery, but if it's a vicar's house, and I think a graveyard is what's attached to a church and a cemetery is not attached to a church. I believe that's the designation. I'm not 100% sure. So it's probably
like a family plot type deal.
Well,
Yeah,
no, not a family plot, but
churches
have graveyards. I
and
think
cemeteries
and
are
cemeteries
different,
are church affiliated,
I
maybe,
guess
but
it's still
not.
technically a graveyard, though.
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, but I think it's just what you call them.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I mean,
though, yeah.
my grandfather was a cemetery caretaker, and I believe that's how it was explained to me when
Right.
I was young. But
Yep.
I don't fucking know
Hmm.
for sure. All right. Anyway, a vicar lives nearby or in the cemetery.
And he's about to get a visit.
He's about to get a visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not knowing what to make of what he saw, Mullins continued home, told his wife of what he'd seen, and turned in for the night, never once suspecting that this nightmarish apparition's reign of terror had only just begun. The following day, while Mullins was attending to his mail route, the terrible news came down. The town was in a state of shock. Nobody could understand how or why, but the vicar and his entire family had been found inexplicably dead in their home. Dead.
Oh shit, dude.
Mullen was gobsmacked. He knew that the hideous beast he'd seen crawl from the grave must have had something to do with this unthinkable tragedy. What's more, Peters, the man from whose grave the creature crawled, was known to have had troubles with the vicar. Was this some sort of posthumous vengeance? Mullins could only guess and fear the worst.
He fucking post-death turned into a glowing maggot and killed the vicar and his family.
Is this some Pumpkinhead shit? Like the family?
Dude.
We're gonna fucking
Yeah, fucking maggot head, dude. Shit,
Maggot
yeah,
head?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
rawhead maggot.
Wow.
All
All,
not
by
a
the way,
thing, but-
good metal band names.
Rawhead
Maggot
maggot.
Head,
Yeah.
Rawhead Maggot,
Maggot Rex.
Maggot Rex.
Dude,
I
know. Well, one of my Christmas gifts is the Rawhead Rex score.
Oh my.
Yeah, double LP
I have
gatefold vinyl.
An unfathomable
They even
soft
made
spot for
something
that
like
Just
movie.
that?
wait until
No,
I
me
send
too. I've
you,
got
dude.
on
When I
VHS,
saw
it's gotta
this,
be terrible, but
when I saw this, dude, and I'm gonna send you a picture of the cover. It's fucking amazing. I've not heard it yet because I'm receiving it for Christmas.
Sure.
But dude, I'm like, oh, this is gonna go on Daddy's Christmas list for sure. Dude.
Right
It's
on.
fucking
I
ridiculous.
can't believe they came out with such a thing.
Yeah.
The
A
art
double
on the
gatefold?
cover looks better than anything ever related to Rock.
I'm sure.
Like,
I
it
bet.
looks-
That was one of the cooler ideas for a monster and one of the shittier realizations.
I actually, I
Yeah, it wasn't-
Though
bought
I
it.
have a
Wasn't
soft
great.
spot.
Me too.
I have a huge soft spot.
Pretty sure I own it on like Amazon. Like,
Oh, yeah?
like, I like bought like the stream for it or whatever, like permanently. Yes, I'm gonna. I
Alright,
might
do you still have VCR?
No, I don't.
Do you have VCR?
I do.
Okay, I have it on VHS.
Really.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you really?
Right on.
Oh.
It's in my pile. It's in my pile.
There is a 4K release of it.
Oh, shit.
dude, we want to watch mine on
Yeah.
VHS.
Yeah, I want to adjust the tracking.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The 4K might not help.
Dude,
this.
we can just bring it right here and just watch it
Oh,
here.
we should, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey, speaking of parties,
Yeah, this would be our big HR fucking going out, fucking doing it.
coming out party, you mean?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna. I'm gonna announce myself as HR. We're gonna fucking get in there. We're gonna fucking party.
Oh, are you just trying to slip that in there? Like we're just going to agree because we're all happy about Rawhead Rex? You just announced yourself
brings
as the
us
rep?
together. We all this works for
I'm
everybody.
still saying we're still voting for the HR rep, even though I still want to get together and watch Rawhead Rex with you two because I love you and I love that movie. So that's all I'm saying. Let's just fucking table it.
This is a way to sway.
This
your
is
vote.
not the time and place,
This is
sir.
a way to sway your vote.
We're in the middle of a goddamn podcast, sir.
Swaying your vote.
Okay, we'll see. See how it works.
Continuing, Robert.
Dude, Rod
Okay.
Maggot, let's go.
Rod Maggot.
Ah! During the course of his workday, he told no one of what he'd seen. But afterwards, he rushed home to share the unhappy news with his wife, even allowing his unidentified, at least by the writer, best friend into their secret circle. That night, the trio went back to the graveyard to see if they could catch sight of this malignant magnet. Jesus Christ. And I didn't even read it right. It's not a magnet.
I'm like,
That has to stay.
Oh,
That's
God. No, of
malignant
course it stays.
magnet.
Of course it stays.
Magnet.
Let me try. It was a masterpiece of alliteration, and I fucking dropped it all.
Malignant man-eyed magnet. Great.
It is a malignant man-eyed maggot.
Yes.
And I was so proud of it until I stepped all over
Dude,
it.
it's so good, dude. I love it.
magnet.
Oh, it's great.
After a long wait, wherein Mullen's wife and friend were almost certainly questioning their cohort's sanity, the grave plot once again became bathed in an ethereal glow, and the huge maggot ripped out of the dirt.
It reburied itself?
It reburies itself nightly. That's what it does.
So it goes out, it disappears, and then just comes out of, like on loop.
Yeah, see, there's going to be a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and not many of them will be answered.
I definitely got
Like,
some
I
questions.
almost wish it had like squeezed under the door, because then you'd be like, is it biological? Is what?
Yeah.
Once it disappears, then you almost certainly know
Like,
you're dealing with something
yeah.
occultish,
It
supernatural.
goes back to the grave.
But it goes back to the grave. Does it burrow itself back down?
Yeah.
Does it live there?
Before sunrise, it must.
Yeah. This is like a Night Gallery episode.
Really, though.
Oh, dude, 100%. Holy shit.
Oh, can you imagine the painting that would be behind
Oh,
Russ?
this
They're
would be
like,
so cool.
Instead, I still hate that
This would be
episode.
so cool.
It's
I know, they were
terrifying.
haunting. They were the worst part by
Ugh.
far. Okay.
Oh, man.
Motherfucker.
Here we
Okay.
go.
The silent cabal followed the twisting thing on its long journey, which led this time to the local blacksmiths, which, even though we don't know a specific date, that might nail it
A
further
blacksmith? Yeah.
back. I mean, I don't know if they went into the 20th century. They had to in certain areas.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure like metal
course.
work, like metalworking and shit. Because I mean, that's like precision, work. They're doing like
It was a long time
Even,
before
like-
that became
like pots
artisanal.
and, like pots and pans and stuff like that.
Sure.
Not just like swords and shit like that.
And,
Like
well,
anything,
horseshoes,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. Horseshoeing, all kinds of stuff. So.
All right. So they're at the blacksmiths. All three of them had heard about the terrible rows between Mr. Peters and the blacksmith, and it seemed that, yet again, this hellish worm was up to the devil's work. As it had with the vicar's house, this blasphemous being, can't say, I'm shitting on my alliteration tonight, once again disappeared on the threshold of the house.
Oh, not the blacksmith.
Mullins and crew wasted no time in rushing to their respective homes. That night must have been a long, terrible wait. But when the fun began and the sun finally rose,
God. Merry Christmas.
and the mailman had his breakfast, hearty though it may be, I'm just talking shit now, and he began his appointed rounds, it wasn't long before the news of the blacksmith's demise came his way.
See, you could have stopped this.
Coulda.
You knew what happened to the vicar.
I mean, could you have, though?
You
could have tried.
You saw this
I will
thing
say
go
that
into
much.
the porch. You could have.
Yeah.
You could have fucking knocked. You could have done something.
You could have tried to beat it to the punch. Like, once it's in the like the front yard, unless you don't like him or he's a douche.
That's what I'm thinking. Like you saw,
Yeah.
you knew what it did to the vicar. You saw it going to the blacksmiths, and you're like, "Let's go home."
But then if you intercept it,
Dude,
whose wrath are you now incurring?
still, you got to save the blacksmith, man.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to shoe the horses? Make
Now
the
you're-
fucking
now you're down a
the
blacksmith.
cast iron pancake griddles.
Now you're out of weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Blacksmith gone. R.I.P.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
Had to be
local
Bobby?
horde's going to come through.
exactly. Big rips.
Oh yeah.
The local
The
horde.
local horde.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a John we don't know.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Always, it's always a John.
It's got to be a John.
Indeed.
100%.
Yeah.
Rip torn.
Mhm.
Think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The John Horde.
There you go.
He, being the blacksmith, mercifully lived alone and was the only victim of this dead man's apparent curse. This time, anyway.
Shit.
I know that's not really for shit. I'm just
Good
talking shit.
pause.
Thank you. Freeman wrote,
Oh, it's funny.
Mullins, his wife and friend, kept their vigil every night afterwards, but the maggot did not reappear until the 10th night.
Hopefully they did something about it this time.
You'd hope.
All right.
All but ready to give up on their endeavor, the grotesque grub's appearance was likely to cause a combination of relief and despair. Who would the unfortunate victim be this time? The trio tracked their quarry down dark, familiar lanes, growing more and more uneasy with every step. When they finally arrived at their destination, Mullins and his wife's hearts sank. That's plural. It was their house. But why? They'd had no quarrel with Peters. Could they have somehow enraged this abominable avatar by stalking it as they had? They did not know. But one thing was clear. While they were not home to face the thing's wrath, someone was. Their sleeping 5-year-old son.
Son of a bitch, man. This
Oh,
is you
boy.
pumpkin-headed yourself. You maggot-headed yourself.
Yep.
You happy?
You could have done something.
You could have done something.
Could have stopped it while the stopping
Yeah.
was good.
Nope. Go run back to your house. There you go. Let the blacksmith die. And now look at.
I mean, the vicar, that's a pass. You didn't know.
You didn't know. You had no clue.
You- right,
You
you
didn't have any
didn't know.
context.
Yeah.
But now you knew the deal.
And for 10 nights afterward, what were you going to do? Were you going to try to stop it that time?
Well, now
yours?
there's this Christmas is going to be sad.
At this point, because it is a sparsely told story, I'm speculating.
Okay.
Did they run after it? Attempt to grab the hellish thing before it disappeared on their doorstep? If they did, it was not chronicled. But had they tried, their efforts were wasted as this peculiar phantom vanished as it had each time before, and the family was crushed. They rushed into the house, but could find neither hide nor hair of the offending entity. It seemed likely that they kept a close watch on their boy for the rest of the night, praying and hoping that he, in his innocence, might be spared. And as dawn broke and their only son slept peacefully, perhaps they felt that their vigil had not been in vain. But as all too often happens with those who even inadvertently mess with what is to all appearances diabolical forces, the worst was yet to come. And within hours, their son was stricken by a fit of uncontrollable vomiting, and despite all of their best efforts and prayers, perished before noon.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it
It had the
sucks.
slow kill.
Oh, it sucks.
Bitch.
Yeah.
All of them might have been that way. They
Yeah, we
True.
don't know.
They don't
It's true.
know.
They could have been.
Yeah, they might have all woken up and been like hit by, I don't know, spectral Ebola or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
that's what this thing sounds like it gave the kid, man. Fuck, dude.
Blood puke, blood shit, maggot Rex.
I mean, now it's revenge. Now it's revenge.
Well, look at you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Now it's revenge.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right on.
I'm ready.
Mullins and his wife were inconsolable. What had they done to incur Peter's wrath, or that of the hellspawn living in his grave and feeding off not only his corpse, but evidently his immortal rage? Yeah, you can't rule out the fact that this is just some weird spectral entity that is eating his body and inheriting his fucking grudges.
Or just using his grave as a conduit to come to our world.
Or he had sacrificed his own life, as Chris was indicating earlier in U2, in a Pumpkinhead type fashion of, I'll give up my own life if I can turn into a really pretty-eyed maggot and kill my enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know.
And
There's no way we will know.
It demands a nightly every 10-night sacrifice.
Oh, there it is. Or
Yeah.
2 nights on, 10 nights off.
It works a swing shift.
Sure.
It does.
Just
Yep.
makes sense.
That's how the devil works. There
Right,
you
he
go.
has to take a vacation after.
You gotta
Yeah,
rest.
You work
Yeah.
2,
Take a week off
you work
or-
2, you get 7 off, you come back. There you go.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
I like it.
It seems likely that the mailman and his wife, following the loss of their only child, cared not whether they shuffled off this they shuffled off this mortal coil. But their friend also knew his life was in imminent peril, and seemingly for the simple sin of curiosity. That's why you gotta be careful what you fuck with. That's why you don't go like, we've all explored, graveyards and cemeteries at night. And We've all fucked around and we've all done shit. We would do it with each other because we're friends.
Yeah, totally.
So we're bad examples. But generally speaking, if like someone's like, oh yeah, especially once you know the vicar and his whole family died just because this thing went into their house, maybe you don't want to be that third wheel that's going there the next night to watch for it and to see what it does next.
Yeah, because now you're a target.
Now you didn't even know the second night's the blacksmith, and then after 10 more nights of it, it's probably not coming out because it's like, these fuckers are still here. These fuckers are still here. These
Yeah.
fuckers are still here. Fucking finally, night
Yeah.
10, it's like, you know what? Guess where I'm going? Because if you're going to keep watching me, I'm going to fucking get you off the trail.
Or it knows that you're there and it's like, now you've become my prey.
There's a lot of things going on, but you don't fuck with the diabolical.
From beyond the grave.
I don't technically believe in demons, but I don't fuck around.
Oh, I brought a Ouija board.
Oh,
Yeah, I got one as a part of my family Secret Santa white elephant gift exchange.
like a Hemingway story?
No,
What's white elephant mean?
it's a white elephant gift exchange where like you everyone gets a number, you pick the number, you go first, you get the gift, you open it, and then the next person goes, and if they want, they can steal that gift, and then you have to go steal somebody else's gift. Super fun. We do it every year.
That sounds fun.
It's wicked.
No, I want my present.
Yeah, why is it called white
Because
elephant?
then
I don't know. You just because
That sounds horrible.
you steal it. I don't know.
Yeah, when somebody steals it, that would suck.
Right.
Especially if you liked it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna get a blind bag skibbity toilet. I ended up with a fucking Ouija board, dude.
All right. You won.
Sweet. I will do it, and it has a gem too.
I thought you hate Ouija boards.
I technically do.
Yeah.
Look, why? Look what
This
he's
just
talking
threw me
It
out.
about.
was one.
Because you're so excited
It was
and-
one under the celebration of Christ's birthday. Okay, therefore it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, you
exactly.
have a
Okay,
weird
so it's a
way of
holy
assessing things.
board.
Yeah, I'm complicated. Get used to it. Yeah, get used to
I'm just calling HR. That's all I'm saying.
it. I'm here to take your call.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, what
Mark's,
happened?
All right, no,
Mark's a complicated asshole. We agree.
All right, Peter and the maggot.
Peter the maggot.
Peter and the Maggot.
Peter the maggot.
Pete's maggot.
Pete's Maggot. Oh my
Old
god.
Disney movie.
Where's Disney?
Oh man,
Can
totally.
you imagine that animated fuck? Oh
It
god.
was funny. I just like watched part of it the other day.
A Pete's Dragon?
Yeah, I saw something
shit,
somehow
really?
came up. I'm like, I wonder if I can scam this, and I scammed it. And started watching. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it was a.
It was
I remember my mom took me and my
Yeah.
little sister to see it at the theater.
But
and
it was still impressive.
it was an impressive feat of combining live action and animation.
Yeah.
But unlike say Roger Rabbit, a couple
Yeah.
decades later, it was very limited in the appearances of the dragon. It was mostly an invisible
yeah.
dragon movie.
no, yeah,
Which I found
Yes, it was.
infuriating
That's
as like
exactly
a
it.
little kid.
yeah.
I was like,
they did do the
motherfucker.
good job when like they do the blanket over it,
Yeah.
and it's like all moving around. I'm like, okay, that was that. Like I said, Disney's always been.
They've been top.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
they were doing that
I mean-
shit since Mary Poppins and the Penguins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
For sure.
but yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
Pete's
Oh,
maggot.
Pete's
interesting.
maggot. There you
Jesus
go.
Christ. All right. Okay. So it was decided among the three that Peter's reign of horror had to come to an end. Damn the consequences. They returned to the graveyard, walked past the vicar's now empty home, and shovels in hand began to disinter the corpse of Mr. Peter.
Yes, dig up the dead.
Dig up the dead.
Yeah, cut his head off.
This really is a whole theme metal album.
I love this, dude. This is like a Mortician record.
Yeah, like if Maggot Rex ever becomes real,
Yeah, they're sweet.
and one of the songs definitely Pete's Maggot.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Once the rotting corpse was revealed, the conspirators saw no sign of the monstrous maggot and had no way of knowing if it was living inside the carcass or if Peter's decaying form was transforming into a demonic agent by night. Lots of options again on the table.
I like it.
Whatever the case, the body was covered in an accelerant, not sure, maybe whale oil, I don't know what year, kerosene, lantern shit.
Yeah, don't
Who
do
knows?
gasoline because it'll blow yourself
right,
up.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oil
it's
lamp
probably
shit or
pre-gasoline,
whatever.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
for-
probably like whale oil or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
and
Oil.
a match
Oil.
dropped on it. The three witnesses watched as the flesh and bones were immolated before their eyes, almost surely taking pains to watch for the slightest hint of illuminated movement, as in a glowing maggot. The maggot would not escape. Its killing days were over. And sure enough, when naught but a charred husk of Peter's remained, the grim threesome refilled the grave, and no one ever saw the god-awful beast with the human, perhaps Peter's, eyes ever again.
Oh shit! There.
And here we have it. The
Okay,
is.
so
part deuce
Yeah,
of the Bizarre
dude.
Beasts of Britain.
Fucking bizarre
Breast.
beasts of Britain,
Bizarre
Volume 2.
Breasts of Britain,
The-
Volume 2.
Britain's Weird Titties, Volume 2. The Writhing Horrors.
And so we wanted to go a little supernatural this time. We dipped there.
yeah, last story's great, man. That's
Yeah, it's
ooh,
haunting.
Yeah,
No, it's
dude,
like it's like
creepy.
H.P. Lovecraft.
It,
is.
yeah, it has a little bit of Lovecraft
It's
to it.
it's
man.
definitely an old like
It
ghost
does
story
the old time
vibe.
turn of the century shit.
Yeah, some turn of the screw
Yeah.
type
But
shits.
it's cool.
Exactly.
Is like it kind of borders that line of like cryptozoology slash like occult things. 'cause,
100%.
I mean, it's like because immediately I'm like, well, how can this thing be climbing from the grave and diving back into it? But like, obviously, if this is some phantasmagorical,
Well, it
thing, that's
vanishes.
just- yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
Ergo-
I don't think it's
I'm thinking it's
cryptid.
digging the dirt and going back
Yeah.
down and coming back up.
right.
Well,
There's the
it's-
tunnels
no.
underneath where it goes, where it eats the dead.
yeah, neither one of these are strictly speaking cryptids.
Then again, we don't even know if they actually killed this thing.
It
dude.
could and it could have a labyrinth beneath the
Yeah,
graveyard.
it could still be down there to this
it
day.
could just be crawling between corpses.
And this
doing
thing
its
was this thing was directed.
Could you imagine if this thing All right, so hold on to this for a
It
second.
definitely had purpose.
You say it's directed and had purpose, and I agree. Sorry, I got allergy.
I mean, it seemingly does that. But
Video watcher. Sorry, I'm rubbing my nose. It's not.
you
a
know,
coke
my
habit.
nose all of a sudden got super plugged. I almost sneezed.
So what if this thing is maybe a corporeal creature or an incorporeal type fucking phantasmagorical thing, and it just weaves a labyrinth from grave to grave, and when it eats your corpse, it takes on your eyes and your hates, and then lunges out and lashes against those that you despise, which of course would mean there'd probably be 3 people left in the town.
Yeah,
which is probably why that theory is not great. But I just find that's a dark, fascinating
It is.
idea.
no, that's a better movie
Yes.
than this.
I mean, that's a complicated life cycle.
It really
Really
is.
complicated.
Like it can't see, it just dark burrows.
Yeah.
But then it needs the light when it gets the people eyes.
It has to use the people eyes to get there to eat you.
to
Well,
like-
it apparently just like makes you sick, which is even stranger. That lends to a whole other world of like fucking weird curse magic shit.
Right.
Like it because it doesn't. It's not like it slides into the bed and it grabs you by the face and it's like and it breathes maggot breath in you and makes you sick. The thing is apparently just gets in your porch. It's like you're dead, and then it just
Maybe.
goes away. Like it didn't
But
do
that's
anything.
actually just to somehow teleport into the house. Is it radioactive? Is that why they're fucking puking and dying?
that's interesting.
Oh shit!
What would they have known of radiation sickness in blacksmith days?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could be an alien. Holy shit.
dude. Also, too, think about this: underground, a possible shale formation. What's in shale? Radiation.
Oh.
Oh,
And
radiates the maggot.
If it is an extraterrestrial and not a cryptid that got accidentally irradiated, what's the other thing besides being radioactive that fucking aliens love to fucking do and be? Read fucking minds. So if it's reading the desiccated corpse minds and fucking like following its whims, what if it just got it's like a crashed alien, it fell into the earth, it's like incubating, trying to like recover because of all the damage, and it's got just enough skills to like read what's left of a dead person's mind, steal their eyes, and it just goes off doing shit, not even realizing, like, I'm going to go see this person because this person thought of it, not realizing it's so radioactive that everyone that comes into contact is basically going to get, like, day after, Hiroshima fucking sick
Yeah,
and
dude.
die. Obviously, that is so far out there that it cannot possibly
like
be the
it.
case, but it's fucking
I
fascinating.
do like it though. I like it.
No.
I mean, you still have to
Yeah,
dig the
I
corpse
mean-
up and burn it though. You
did-
can't
yeah,
allow that shit.
You got it. No, because even if this alien doesn't mean to be doing it, even if it's a victim of its own injuries,
it must be
stopped.
It has
Yeah.
to be stopped.
But back to what I think you were saying, Mark, the idea of a directed curse actually makes the most sense. Whether it was ordained by Mr. Peters
Yes,
himself,
I mean, it's centered around his grave, obviously. So
or
it
maybe
has
his
a
wife,
connection
if
somehow.
he has like a widow and she's like, the vicar and the blacksmith did you wrong, honey, and
The 5-year-old boy killed the child.
well, no, it could also be like there's like 6 other people on the list, and because these fucking people keep watching the grave for the maggot and like something about the ritual,
she
means,
knows, and then she's like, "Kill the
because
boy."
like they're hiding behind the grave watching the grave, and she's hiding behind them in the woods watching them, and it's like after the 10th day, she's like, "Oh fuck it, if they want to keep doing this, I'm gonna kill the boy, and then I can go finish my revenge."
Everyone must die.
Which is like, I don't know, like a terrible, like a paranatural Agatha Christie.
Yeah, that is a weird. Yeah,
It's fucking weird, or like an old Jesus Franco film.
yeah.
like,
Or if this was something that was just like maybe spiritually attached to this dude, and he died, and this thing just lived on from beyond the grave, just coming
like-
out and attacking people.
What happens to the demons if you
Ooh,
are
if you're
possessed when you die?
Yeah. Oh,
I always just
shit.
assume they transfer back to hell. It's
no,
like simple
dude,
protocols.
this could be.
But like a tingler from like the old Vincent Price movie, the thing that attaches to your spine,
Yeah,
kills you
yeah.
if you can't scream. What if it's like a tingler demon or a demon that looks like a tingler and it's just there? And maybe they were tight. Maybe they were buddies. And he just wants to fucking get the people that did him wrong.
Dude, could be. So many possibilities with this thing.
There's a lot of
That
options.
we did. We covered them all, I
Yeah.
think. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
That,
I mean,
but
I don't
that's
know.
all. I love that. That was
there's
great.
really
That was so cool.
It definitely, I like great stories. It lends itself to going down crazy dark paths of imagination. But unlike the parables and old timey stories, there's no clear cut moral. It's
No.
not like
No.
I mean, it's almost like Lot's wife. Like as much of a moral as the story of Sodom and Gomorrah is. When God tells you don't look, because what did she do wrong besides turn around?
That's that is in multiple stories. Like God says something, you got to do it, or else you get.
But the thing is, this doesn't even have that. It's never
Yeah.
been like, it doesn't say
No.
like, look away. And they're like, oh, I'm too curious. I got to look.
Yeah.
If it had that, then I would be like, all right, this is clear. I mean, it's probably
Right.
fiction anyway, but I would be like, this is 100% clearly apocryphal. But because there's no clear cut, like, why?
No, it's just some weird revenge
it's
thing.
really the only thing. A lot of these stories do have that little things which you can kind of tell their stories. This doesn't have the thing where like Peters, who was sort of a rival with the vicar for I don't know,
stole some land.
Yeah.
Right. Who knows?
True.
Old timey shit.
Yeah, right.
And the blacksmith fucked his horse up and didn't give him his money back. And he was lame.
Beat horseshoes.
Beat horseshoes. Lost his fucking career.
Fucked up his steed.
So is this like the maggot's hero's journey? Is that what it has to do?
I mean,
it's like
no, it's just a basic revenge story.
It just gets to the end, and it's like I'm finished.
Well, except that he at the Maltons they're like, we don't know why, like we had nothing to do with Peters.
Yeah.
So it's the only hint of like a thing.
Yeah.
It's like they know they had.
What if it is a predatorial animal, and and unlike a maggot, like something
unless
that we
the
don't
kid
identify,
did something they didn't know about,
or maybe the kid didn't do it, but maybe it's just smelling, and maybe it smelled the vicar and the blacksmith on Peters because those were people he associated with in life, but they kept coming day after day till it eventually caught their scent, and not trying to be predatorial at all. It just followed that same scent back to their house, where their kid became an unwitting victim.
Maybe.
Which is the saddest and most which is sadly what life is.
Yeah.
Random tragedy.
Well,
there you go. All right, man. Well, shit, we did it. Bizarre Beasts of Britain, Volume 2.
Deuce.
The Writhing Horrors. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Robert, before we get out of here, we got some very special shout-outs to do for the good folks that support us over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
Heck yes. Thank you again, everyone who supports us, everyone who's currently supporting us, everyone who is going to support us in the future, everyone who just listens to the podcast. But right now, here and now, we're going to thank the specific people who are our most recent patrons. And that is GMT Kid. I hope I read that right.
Thank you, GMT Kid.
Oh, Gimped Kid. I almost said Gimped Kid.
No,
that sounds weird.
GMT Kid. GMT Kid. Got it. It's fine. It's fine. Moving on.
Anim Moose.
And a moose, thank you. Hopefully that's not like some mice ship ice elf thing, but we'll see.
And a moose.
Yeah.
And a moose.
Or Dickie Ches and a moose. Thank you, and a moose.
Bullwinkle, animated moose.
There you go.
A Dubbies.
A Dubbies, what up?
Adobe.
Innes McDonald.
Thank you, Innes McDonald. We appreciate that.
Oh my God. So every one of these names has challenged me in some way. Usually we read them before, but I came, as aforementioned, an hour late and fucking lala.
But this one.
This one, you know what? I was about cemetery, but no, I get it. Cemetery.
Dude, and it's kind of, man, your last story.
No, it's apropos.
You know, Cemetery, his brother. You know who that is? Document.
Wow.
Terry. Yeah.
Yep.
See, but I say documentary.
There was an old horror host named Sammy Terry. Took me forever to like do the math on
really?
that.
No shit.
Yeah.
Same
Or our local horror host when we were kids, fucking what was it? Dr. E. Nick Whitty. Took me, as a kid,
Really?
I never got iniquity.
Yeah.
Well, why
you wouldn't?
It's
I
not.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
It took me, I was like
Because you gotta be like
fully an adult.
You gotta be like
before I'm
Professor Blood or something like that.
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
fuck
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, something cool.
Easy peasy.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. Moving on.
Dr. Chophead. Moving on.
Moving on. Cold November Wayne.
Oh, I loved it. When I
Oh
saw
my
that, I loved it.
God.
I'm like, oh, November Wayne. That's fucking awesome.
Charlene Chambers.
Thank you, Charlene Chambers.
Stardust.
With a cool little star.
Oh, yeah, there's a
How
thing
do you
there.
do that?
I love that.
Show me how to do that.
Lazy coworker.
Oh, it's my favorite coworker is a lazy one.
Last, never least. Sorry, gasping with joy.
Yeah.
God.
Thad Jackson.
Our dude, Thad Jackson. Holy shit. what
Artist
is up?
extraordinaire.
Dude, I've known Thad literally probably since 9th grade. He's a fucking awesome dude. Love that guy. He's the best. He is. I actually have one of the second tattoos he ever did as an apprentice on me. But check his work out. Keepsake Syracuse on Instagram, and that is Keepsake Tattoos. Yeah, check him out. He's an awesome tattoo artist, musician too, from If Hope Dies. Great dude, been a long time friend of mine. And when I saw him on there, I was like, oh shit, fuck it, Thad Jackson. I know he's been a listener forever.
That's awesome.
So Thad, thank you so much for supporting us over there on the Patreon. We appreciate that. And again, check him out. Keepsake Syracuse on Instagram. Tattoos by Thad Jackson.
Yeah, great.
Highly recommended.
Super talented.
Thank
you everybody else too.
Thank you for all your continued support as this podcast closes out.
Sure.
2024. This is a big year for us
Hard
as
to believe.
we launched the video tier, which is the $10 tier, so you can check that out. And yeah, thank you all for your continued monthly support. It's so great that we've just come to this level where this is the year that we got our studio too, right?
Yeah.
Or was it last year?
No, it was last year.
Oh shit! No, you're right. It was because we just renewed our lease.
But
Yes,
it hasn't been that much over.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long. That's crazy.
I mean,
super weird.
it's been almost a year and a half.
Yeah, no, it's been
Really?
damn,
About a year.
Shit.
Yeah, because we got it in like June or July, but we didn't actually get in here until
Yeah, no, it took us
Like,
it took us a minute.
maybe
to
that's
get
what
in
I'm
here.
doing.
September,
the math
October, because we
Yeah.
had to fix it all up.
I
and
mean,
stuff,
it's
but-
like a home away from home.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not having it now.
So
Dude,
this-
I'm
so-
here a lot.
So the
Right
studio,
on.
the studio was not this year, but
Right.
thank you regardless for your support. We appreciate it.
Right, we wouldn't have had a
Totally.
studio.
We
if
wouldn't have
not.
had the studio
And
without
the
you guys.
tier.
No,
and all this
2024
other
has been a
shenanigans.
fantastic year. I can only hope for even better, and we've
Oh,
got
dude,
some
for sure.
crazy shit coming up. Obviously, I actually done for the first time made like a list, a solid list. Like I've always had a to-do list, always had crazy stories, but now I'm going to try to like make it a little tighter. So we got like crazy epic stories and little, crazy one shots like this.
Nice, cool.
Nice balance of stuff. A little more Mikey, some more veggies and Stardust.
Are you
and
working ahead?
I'm trying to work ahead.
See,
Right.
dude, you are earning points with HR right now. They're like,
Wow.
Robert is going to be the employee of the month.
Hey,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean,
now I'm beaming. Where
Just-
are they going to hang my portrait?
Dude, there's going to be an employee of the month thing right there. And it's every month someone's going to get picked. I might be the employee most times, but that's okay. You guys both will have the opportunity to become employees.
we're going to
of the month.
fire your whole department as soon as they come in here.
I'm joining the army over there. How dare you? Me and the recruiter are going to be
Go
hanging
ahead.
out, having our own podcast. How about that? Yeah, dueling podcasts, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah, Evil Science and Magic Buddy's going to be across the street. But come over sometime. It'd be okay. Come talk
Right.
with us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good science and logical buddies.
Yeah, totally. So check us out on the social medias, the Instas, the Twitters, the Facebook, the TikToks. We have a great response from TikTok with some of the clips. So hopefully it remains. I don't know. I guess possibly in January it could be banned in the US. We'll see what happens. So you know what? Get on there now. You can see a bunch of clips from our Patreon videos. And I recently did the clip where I acted like a deer.
Oh my God.
And it was
saw it.
pretty fun. So check that out.
Literally almost died that day.
Those TikTok clips
Yeah.
also get posted to Instagram. So TikTok and Instagram, check us out there. Two of our main social media hubs. And of course, the merch, hellerspace.com. There will be a new shirt in the beginning of January coming out, which is super cool. And as always, keep your eyes out there for the sales because there's always sales happening. We also should have a new hat specific design coming out as well.
Nice.
So check that out. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all again. It's been a great year. We're super stoked. And here's to 2025. And without, we'll just see what happens, man. And we'll go from there and have a whole other year of podcasting.
Wow. Well said.
We're
Yeah.
going to do that, but we do
Super.
have one last person, I think.
Oh my God, we do. We got Christmas
Yes,
presents.
we
Yes, thank you.
absolutely do.
Jesus, I've been staring at it right here too.
Literally, we've
Closing out. I know.
Closing out.
enjoying
I
it.
realized I was holding this for like 20 minutes for an open bottle. I just
Yeah, well, I
was
noticed that.
not drinking it.
I noticed that Bob crushed two of them right there. So yeah,
Yeah,
huge
But
shout
I'm
out.
saving one for Patreon.
Oh, very nice, very nice. A huge shout out to our girl Dana Bruce hooking
Oh.
us up with some awesome Christmas gifts here. The boys got some whiskeys and there's some cookies and stuff.
Yes.
And I can show the $10 tier people this thing right here. We got this
Scotty.
super cool right here. This is Cryptid Creatures Assembly
I'm
set.
so excited.
This is so dope. Check it out.
We're going to make a mascot.
Oh, dude, 100%. There's over almost 1 million combinations,
1
apparently.
million.
1
Whoa.
million. So, yeah, it's super cool. So, thank you, Dana. We appreciate
Absolutely.
yeah, we do.
that. But she's so
Dana. You're
awesome.
the
dude.
best.
She sends us gifts, and we get cool Christmas cards from her. And
I
she's,
know.
we
She always throws
appreciate
our
it.
stickers up around the world.
Yeah, because she travels the world, and she's like, send me shit so I can plaster it worldwide. I'm like, oh my God. Speaking of which, I need to send her more, some more business cards to put out there in the world. So, thank you, Dana. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
Absolutely.
Dana.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmases to everybody out there, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Totes
See you next year, suckers.
See you
Oh,
next
Not
year,
suckers,
man.
dudes.
I
Keeping
called
it
somebody
real.
suckers the other day, and it just
Did
kind
you?
of came out.
Oh my God, that's
Really?
awesome.
Suckers?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're trying to pass some people. We look on our way to a winery. I'm like, we got to get past these suckers. And I didn't really mean to say suckers. I meant to say like fuckers or something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just came out suckers.
Fucking 82 Chris comes
Yeah, no,
out.
I know.
He
I know.
he puts on his like red leather Michael Jackson fucking suit. You're like, dude, he's bad.
He's bad.
Fucking
Dude,
love
do you
it,
remember
dude.
the Sucker
So
Free
bad.
Countdown on MTV?
Oh my God,
my
I do.
God.
Yeah, Sucker Free Countdown.
Wow.
There's that show
Son of
called
a
Sucker Free
bitch,
Countdown.
dude. I do
Fucking
remember
incredible.
that. Fuck.
Dude, speaking of MTV,
Incredible.
do you guys remember that weird,
Shit.
like pre-Frank Miller Sin City animation where this guy was was doing all this noir talk, and he's bald, and he's like was like black and white animation.
Was he just like,
an
in
electric
a British
chair.
accent?
Yeah, something
Was
like
that the
that.
guy?
And then he goes, "But that's me all over, sucker." And that was the end of the commercial.
No,
I don't know if you
don't.
remember that. I mean, we're old. I mean, I don't know if you remember.
I remember
it.
that
was-
one where it's
I was
just like a
there
British
for
guy
it.
narrating.
I don't
and he'd
know.
just be like, and I went into the alley.
Yeah, something
And
like
then,
that.
and then there's
I
some
was
sort of
super
right,
noir.
right.
But did he end up in an electric chair at the end?
I don't know. But me and Till watched one day, and he was just saying something. He's like, I did a thing. And he was like, murder. And we just fucking cracked up because it was hilarious.
Really?
But that's all I remember is just this British guy kind of like
That's weird.
noiring this.
I'm not sure if it's the same one. The
probably
one I saw
not,
was
but-
definitely Americana Sin City.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah, like very noir, but it was pre-Sin City, so it was more like noir. Philip Marlowe, Raymond
Right.
Chandler,
Huh.
Sam
weird
Spade.
shit in
Strange.
the 90s.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Like,
I miss it. Like from the cartoons to all that shit. Like 90s were so violently irreverent, especially on MTV, whether it was
Yeah.
animated or music videos.
Oh, dude, like a fucking Eon Flux and
Oh,
like
everything
the
was
head.
crazy.
Oh my, I love the head.
Yeah.
The head was awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
we had
The
this
head
conversation
ruled.
the other day about all the weird shit.
But you know what the good thing is? If things
With
like
liquid
kind of
television.
normalize for a while, that's okay because that'll give future generations something to rebel against. The fact is, there's been nothing really to rebel against for a long time.
Well,
So
Here we are.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's been plenty of things,
There's a lot.
Plenty of
but
things.
not in that.
Well,
but not in the sense of what
Yeah,
we grew
yes.
up with, like an ultra conservative society where fucking every little thing was a punk rock victory.
but now you guys have me to rebel against. See?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be your rebellion.
Yeah.
Mark.
okay,
Start your group so we can fire it immediately.
Exactly. All right, cool. All right, next pod,
yeah,
HR starts. We'll be talking to you.
All right. See you next year.
HR,
Up.
stuff that muff.